In the year 2135, Earth was a vibrant yet turbulent place. Humanity had made remarkable strides in technology and understanding of the universe, but with progress came challenges: climate change, political strife, and escalating natural disasters that had turned the planet into a cauldron of chaos. It was amidst this turmoil that the Zirath, a highly advanced alien race, descended upon Earth. Their ships pierced the atmosphere, sleek and glimmering with a silver hue. Each vessel was equipped with state-of-the-art cloaking technology, allowing them to observe without interference. The Zirath, known for their insatiable curiosity and peaceful intentions, had traveled light years from their home planet to study this burgeoning species they had heard so much about. They expected to find a thriving civilization, possibly even one on the verge of galactic exploration, and were eager to share their knowledge. As they hovered above a sprawling city, the Zirath were greeted not by gleaming skyscrapers and bustling markets, but by a landscape marred by disaster. A recent earthquake had left entire neighborhoods in ruins. Buildings lay crumbled, streets were fissured, and sirens wailed like lost souls through the smoky air. The aliens gathered in the control room of their flagship, observing the scenes below with a mix of intrigue and disbelief. Is this truly the same species we have been hearing about? A Zirath named Lyra asked, her large, iridescent eyes scanning the chaos. I expected resilience, but what I see is devastation. Let's not jump to conclusions, replied Xarin, the ship's leader. These events could be a reflection of their civilization's growth. Perhaps they are experiencing growing pains. Let us study their response. As the Zirath continued their observations, they focused on a group of humans, emergency responders, volunteers, and citizens who banded together amidst the wreckage. Maya Chen, a determined engineer, stood at the forefront. Her face, streaked with dirt and determination, radiated a fierce light as she rallied her team. We need to prioritize search and rescue, she shouted, her voice piercing through the chaos. Every minute counts. With a clear sense of purpose, Maya's group transformed into an unstoppable force. They set up makeshift command centers, mobilized drones to locate survivors, and utilized innovative tools crafted from the debris around them. They scoured through rubble, comforting those in despair and sharing food and water with those in need. The Zirath, watching from above, were fascinated by the human spirit on display. Why do they not seem broken? Lyra wondered aloud, her mind racing. In the face of such destruction, they do not surrender. Xarin nodded, his brow furrowed. Perhaps their approach to adversity is fundamentally different from ours. They are leveraging this crisis as a learning opportunity. But how can a species thrive in such a state of disarray? As the days passed, the Zirath witnessed more than just survival. They observed creativity, innovation, and an unwavering sense of community. In the wake of destruction, humans were not merely recovering. They were evolving. Each tragedy led to new ideas, solutions, and improvements. The Zirath found themselves captivated, their initial expectations shattered. The humans were a paradox, chaotic yet remarkably resilient. Intrigued and bewildered, the Zirath made a pivotal decision. They would continue to observe, documenting every action and reaction. Unbeknownst to them, their fascination with humanity would soon evolve into a quest for understanding, a quest that would change the course of their mission and the fate of both species forever. The Zirath continued their watch from the confines of their flagship, enthralled by the unfolding drama below. The chaos of the earthquake had left many communities reeling, yet within the wreckage, a different story emerged. They saw groups of volunteers, motivated not by duty alone, but by a deep-seated sense of camaraderie and purpose, rushing to help their fellow citizens. To the Zirath, this human resilience was both perplexing and captivating. Among the many faces of humanity, Maya Chen stood out. Her determination was palpable, a beacon amid the destruction. With every survivor they rescued, her team grew more cohesive, their bond solidified by shared adversity. As they worked tirelessly, a striking tableau unfolded. The chaos of nature juxtaposed against the indomitable spirit of humans. Maya and her group worked round the clock, driven by an urgency that pulsed through their veins. "Over here," Maya shouted, leading the small team of volunteers through the twisted remains of a once bustling marketplace. The air was thick with dust and desperation, but Maya's unwavering spirit shone through. "We need to check this building next. Keep your eyes peeled for anyone trapped inside." They approached a collapsed structure, its walls groaning under the weight of debris. Maya's heart raced as she spotted movement. "There," she pointed, urging her team closer. A weak voice called out from beneath the rubble. "Help, please." With a practiced urgency, Maya coordinated their efforts. "We need to lift this beam." On 3, 1, 2, 3. Together, they hoisted the heavy timber, and with bated breath, they pulled a frightened child into the light. The boy's face, streaked with dirt and tears, broke into a relieved smile as he clung to Maya. The Zirath, observing this scene from above, were struck by the depth of human emotion. "They don't just save lives," Lyra remarked, her eyes wide. "They create bonds, build trust. It's more than survival, it's about community." Sauron, pondering the implications, replied, "Perhaps this is the essence of humanity. Finding strength in unity amid chaos." The Zirath began to collect data not just on the logistics of the rescue efforts, but also on the emotions that fuel them. They recorded the compassion, hope, and determination that permeated every action. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the rubble, Maya and her team gathered to share stories of resilience. They spoke of loss, but also of hope, recounting tales of survivors and the lessons learned from past disasters. Maya's voice rose above the others, passionate and unwavering. "We may face calamity, but we rise again. Each disaster teaches us something invaluable, shaping our future." The Zirath, captivated by this discourse, decided to delve deeper into human history. They began to analyze historical events, how past crises had led to innovations in technology, societal reforms, and even global solidarity. The Zirath's perspective began to shift. They realized that humans did not simply endure suffering. They transformed it into opportunities for growth and learning. Determined to understand this phenomenon, they intensified their observations, gathering more data than ever before. The more they learned, the more they marveled at humanity's capacity for resilience. It was clear that every setback was merely a stepping stone toward something greater, and they could hardly wait to unravel the next layer of this complex and fascinating species. As night fell over the shattered city, the Zirath found themselves inspired. They had come seeking knowledge about a new civilization, but what they discovered was far more profound, a testament to the resilience of a species determined to learn, adapt, and thrive, no matter the odds. Little did they know, their own understanding of resilience would soon be tested in ways they could never have anticipated. As the Zirath's fascination with humanity deepened, so did their resolve to intervene. Their initial assessment had concluded that human resilience was not merely a curiosity, but a phenomenon worthy of exploration. But the Zirath were not just passive observers. They were a race driven by a desire to protect and uplift. Thus, they devised a plan to assist the humans in rebuilding their world, believing that their advanced technology could bring about immediate relief. However, the Zirath's lack of understanding of human complexities led to a miscalculation that would prove catastrophic. The decision to intervene coincided with a fierce hurricane that was forecasted to strike the eastern coast of the United States. With winds reaching speeds of 150 miles per hour, the storm threatened to devastate entire cities. The Zirath, seeing this as an opportunity to demonstrate their power and benevolence, prepared to deploy their technology. Using our atmospheric manipulation technology, we can redirect the hurricane away from populated areas, Saren declared confidently. His fellow Zirath gathered around, nodding in agreement. "This will show them our intentions are pure. We can save lives." As they initiated the procedure, however, they overlooked a crucial detail: the hurricane's unpredictable nature. The Zirath activated their devices, sending waves of energy into the atmosphere. For a moment, it seemed as though they had succeeded. The storm began to shift direction. But the Zirath had failed to account for the backlash of their intervention. A sudden surge of energy destabilized the storm, causing it to double back and intensify, creating a swirling vortex of chaos. On the ground, Maya and her team were in the eye of the storm, coordinating evacuations as panic swept through the streets. The howling winds and torrential rain began to tear through the city, uprooting trees and shattering windows. As the first waves of destruction hit, Maya could feel the panic rising within her. "Get everyone to higher ground. Move, move, move," she shouted, rallying her team as they fought against the elements. When the storm hit its peak, the Zirath watched in horror from their ships, realizing the magnitude of their error. The storm, which they had intended to divert, now raged more violently than before. Lightning danced across the sky, illuminating scenes of chaos below. In that moment, the Zirath understood that their interference had exacerbated the disaster rather than alleviated it. "Deactivate the energy field," Lyra shouted, her voice tinged with urgency. They scrambled to halt their devices, but it was too late. The storm unleashed its fury on the city, a violent force that uprooted everything in its path. Buildings crumbled, streets flooded, and the Zirath could see the human spirit begin to falter beneath the overwhelming chaos. On the ground, Maya's team struggled against the wind, trying to maintain order amid the disaster. She witnessed friends and strangers alike being swept away in the torrents. The sight struck her with a piercing sense of dread. "We can't let this defeat us," she cried, pulling together her team. "We've faced worse. We need to regroup and help those who are trapped." As the storm raged on, the Zirath's horror turned to guilt. They had come to Earth with the intention of helping, but their lack of understanding had only made things worse. The realization settled heavily on Xaren's shoulders as he watched the destruction unfold. "We must retreat," he finally ordered, his voice low. "We cannot compound this tragedy with further intervention. We will study the responses from a distance." But as they pulled back, the Zirath were left grappling with the unsettling question: what did it truly mean to help? They had entered a world full of potential, yet the chaos around them only seemed to reveal the fragility of that potential. They resolved to analyze this disaster more closely, believing that the true lesson lay not in their technology, but in the human ability to respond to catastrophe. The Zirath had learned a harsh lesson. Not all interventions were acts of kindness, and not all rescues were welcome. The most important question now was how the resilient spirit of humanity would rise from this devastation. In the aftermath of the storm, the city lay in shambles. Streets were flooded, debris littered the landscape, and the scent of damp earth and despair hung heavy in the air. The initial chaos began to settle into a grim determination as Maya Chen and her team sifted through the wreckage, searching for survivors and offering aid to those who had lost everything. As the sun broke through the clouds, casting a hesitant light on the destruction, Maya felt a surge of urgency. "We need to start coordinating our efforts with the emergency services," she instructed her team. "We can't do this alone." The weight of her responsibility pressed down on her, but she was fueled by the belief that they could still make a difference. Meanwhile, the Zirath, cloaked in their starship high above the chaos, monitored the aftermath with heavy hearts. They had witnessed the resilience of humanity before, but this disaster exposed a side of humans they hadn't anticipated: vulnerability. They had intended to protect, yet their actions had led to further destruction. The realization sent shockwaves through the crew, shaking their belief in their approach. While analyzing the data from their earlier intervention, Lyra discovered something alarming. "Look at this," she said, pointing to the screen. "The humans appear to be communicating more effectively than before. They are sharing information and resources across social media platforms, organizing efforts to assist one another." Zaran leaned closer, intrigued by the unfolding narrative. It seems their response to adversity is not just about survival. They are finding strength in collaboration. This is a form of resilience we have yet to fully understand. Down on the ground, Maya rallied her team and began to piece together a plan. We need to establish a central command, she proposed. If we can gather information about the worst-hit areas, we can prioritize our rescue efforts. The volunteers nodded in agreement, and soon they had formed a network to assess the damage and deploy resources accordingly. While they worked, Maya noticed a strange device embedded in the rubble of a collapsed building. Curiosity piqued. She knelt beside it. It pulsed with a soft, ethereal light, unlike anything she had seen before. As she carefully extracted it, her fingers brushed against its smooth surface, and a surge of energy coursed through her. It was as if the device was alive, communicating with her in a way that transcended language. "Guys, check this out," she called to her team. They gathered around, eyes wide with fascination. "I think this might be some sort of advanced technology." Maya could feel the presence of something beyond human understanding, an intelligence that had been observing them. Unbeknownst to her, the Zirath had also detected the device. They monitored her every move, their curiosity piqued. Lyra's voice crackled through their comms. "That's one of our devices. We thought it was lost during our earlier intervention." Zaran, sensing an opportunity, suggested, "Perhaps this is the moment to establish communication. They are ready to learn, and we must be transparent about our intentions." As Maya and her team examined the device, she felt an inexplicable connection to it. The moment felt charged with significance, a bridge between worlds. Suddenly, a holographic interface flickered to life, displaying data about the storm and the devastation it caused. The information was organized and accessible, presenting solutions and analyses that could aid their recovery efforts. Maya gasped, and her heart raced. This could be the key to understanding how to improve our response. The device was a repository of knowledge, and they needed to harness it. Meanwhile, the Zirath prepared to initiate contact. They knew this was a pivotal moment, one that could lead to collaboration rather than conflict. As they activated their communication systems, the Zirath hoped that transparency would foster trust and that Maya would be receptive to their message. This was no longer just about observation. It was a chance to forge a connection that could benefit both species. As Maya continued to explore the device, she felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps this unexpected encounter with the Zirath was a path toward not just recovery, but growth, an opportunity to merge human ingenuity with advanced technology. Little did they all know that this alliance would soon be put to the test in ways they could never imagine. As the holographic interface flickered to life, Maya felt a rush of excitement and trepidation. The intricate data flowed before her eyes, detailing not just the immediate aftermath of the hurricane, but also patterns of human behavior in response to disasters throughout history. It was as if the device held a mirror to humanity's strengths and vulnerabilities. "Maya, what is that?" One of her team members, Jason, asked, eyes wide with wonder. "I think it's a data repository from the Zirath," Maya replied, her mind racing. "It contains insights on disaster response strategies, something we desperately need right now." She tapped the interface, scrolling through a wealth of information that felt both alien and familiar. As Maya explored the data, the Zirath watched closely from their ship, fascinated by how quickly she grasped the significance of the device. Lyra turned to Xarin, her expression a mix of hope and concern. "If we reveal ourselves now, we risk overwhelming them. But if we wait too long, they may misinterpret our intentions." Xarin nodded, contemplating the best approach. "We need to find a way to communicate. They have shown resilience and adaptability in the face of adversity. Perhaps they will be receptive to our offer of collaboration." Maya's team quickly formed a plan to organize their recovery efforts, driven by the insights gleaned from the device. They divided into groups, one focused on search and rescue, another on providing medical assistance, and a third on coordinating with local authorities. The sense of urgency propelled them forward, and Maya felt a fire ignite within her. They were not just responding to a disaster. They were learning, evolving, and forging a new path. As they worked, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. She glanced up toward the sky, half expecting to see a gleam of silver amidst the clouds. The Zirath had cloaked their ship, but she sensed a presence, a lingering curiosity. Perhaps it was just her imagination, but she felt a connection to something greater, something that transcended their world. Meanwhile, the Zirath's communication systems were ready. "Let's initiate contact," Xaran said, his voice steady but laced with anticipation. "Lyra, prepare to transmit." "Transmitting now," Lyra confirmed, her fingers dancing over the controls. Moments later, a beam of light shot down from the ship, forming a holographic projection beside Maya. She gasped as a shimmering figure emerged, an ethereal representation of Saren, the Zirath leader. "Maya Chen, we are the Zirath." The figure spoke, its voice resonating with authority and warmth. "We have been observing your remarkable response to the recent hurricane. We apologize for the role we played in escalating the disaster. Our intentions were to assist, but we miscalculated." Maya stood frozen, her mind racing. You caused the hurricane to worsen?" she asked, her voice trembling. The weight of realization bore down on her, but beneath the shock, she felt a spark of curiosity. "And you've been watching us all this time?" "Yes," Xaran replied, his holographic form shifting slightly as if to emphasize his sincerity. "We believe you were a civilization worth studying, but now we understand that you are much more than a subject of observation. You possess a unique strength, the ability to turn adversity into growth." Maya's heart raced at the prospect of communication with an alien race, yet her skepticism remained. "Why should we trust you? How do we know you won't interfere again?" "Trust must be earned," Theron acknowledged, his expression earnest. "But we offer you knowledge and technology that can enhance your recovery efforts. We have learned from your resilience, and we wish to collaborate. Together, we can not only rebuild but create a sustainable future for both our species." Maya exchanged glances with her team, a mix of disbelief and hope reflected in their eyes. This was a pivotal moment, an opportunity to merge human ingenuity with Zirath technology. Slowly, Maya nodded. "If you truly want to help, then let's work together. But we will lead the way. This is our planet, and we know what it needs." The hologram flickered with agreement. "Very well. We will support your efforts, but we will follow your guidance." With that, an unexpected alliance was formed. Maya felt a surge of hope. Together, they could confront the challenges ahead, not just as humans and aliens, but as partners united by a shared vision of resilience and growth. Little did they know, the road ahead would test the strength of their alliance in ways they could scarcely imagine. With the unexpected alliance established, Maya and her team dove headfirst into their recovery efforts, now bolstered by the Zirath's advanced technology. The holographic presence of Saren remained a constant source of guidance, providing real-time data analysis and strategic insights tailored to their needs. "We need to prioritize shelters and medical assistance," Maya instructed, her voice steady with newfound confidence. "Let's use the drone systems to locate survivors who may still be trapped or in need of help." As the team worked in unison, the Zirath deployed their drones, sleek and efficient, sweeping over the devastated areas. From above, they provided detailed maps of the destruction, identifying critical zones and areas of concern. The data streamed directly to Maya's handheld device, allowing her to make informed decisions rapidly. "Look at this," Jason called out, pointing to his screen. "The drones have identified a pocket of survivors trapped in a collapsed building just a few blocks from here. We need to move quickly." Maya's heart raced as she reviewed the information. "Let's go. We can't waste any time." The team sprang into action, racing through the debris-strewn streets, determination etched on their faces. The Zirath watched with admiration as Maya led her team, her leadership igniting a fire within them. They marveled at the human spirit, finding strength in the face of devastation. They adapt so quickly, Lyra noted, her eyes shining with newfound respect. It is as if they thrive on challenges. However, even as hope surged, challenges loomed large. They were confronted with obstacles, blocked roads, unstable structures, and the lingering threat of aftershocks. As they approached the collapsed building, Maya felt the tension in the air. "We need to be careful," she cautioned, glancing up at the precarious debris. "If we destabilize it further, we could make things worse." With the Xyrath's assistance, they formulated a plan. The drones hovered above, feeding live updates on structural integrity, while Saren relayed instructions. "Use the stabilization equipment we provided. It will help prevent further collapse while you work." Maya and her team worked in a synchronized dance of human ingenuity and alien technology. They set up supports, carefully removing debris and keeping an ear out for any sounds from within. After several tense minutes, their efforts bore fruit. "Hello? Is anyone in there?" Maya called, her voice echoing in the stillness. A muffled voice responded, "Yes, we're here. Please help us." Maya's heart soared. "We're coming. Stay calm." As they cleared the last of the rubble, a family emerged. 2 parents and their young daughter, dust-covered but alive. Maya felt tears well in her eyes as she embraced them, relief flooding her. "You're safe now. We've got you." The family expressed their gratitude profusely, and Maya turned to her team, a shared sense of triumph lighting their faces. "This is what it's all about," she said, her voice firm. "We can make a difference, one life at a time." As the day progressed, more lives were saved, and the city began to see glimmers of hope amid the destruction. The Xyrath, observing closely, were overwhelmed by the resilience they witnessed. "Their spirit is remarkable," Lyra remarked, her voice filled with admiration. "We've learned more from them in this short time than we have from centuries of study." But as they celebrated their successes, Saren's voice took on a more somber tone. "We must remember that while we can assist, the true power lies within humanity. They are the architects of their destiny, and we are merely facilitators." With each rescue, the bond between the 2 species grew stronger. Maya realized that their collaboration wasn't just about technology, it was about understanding each other. They shared stories and knowledge, discussing both their strengths and vulnerabilities. The Xyrath learned that every challenge the humans faced was an opportunity for growth, while Maya discovered the depth of the Xyrath's wisdom and commitment to peace. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Maya felt a sense of unity. They were no longer just an alliance of convenience. They were a partnership born of shared experiences and aspirations. Together, they were laying the foundations for a future that transcended their differences, forging a path toward a world built on resilience, collaboration, and understanding. Little did they know, the real test of their alliance was just on the horizon, and it would challenge everything they had come to believe about themselves and each other. As the days passed, Maya and her team, along with the Xyrath, worked tirelessly to restore hope in the devastated city. They organized food and medical supplies, established makeshift shelters, and initiated community outreach programs to help those in need. The bond between the 2 species deepened, but it was a tenuous peace, fragile and still untested. Then came the warning. A tremor, subtle but unmistakable, rippled through the ground. The Xyrath, their advanced sensors attuned to seismic activity, detected it first. "Xaren, we have a situation," Lyra said urgently, her fingers dancing over her console. "There's been a significant shift in tectonic activity just offshore. A larger earthquake could follow." Maya, who had been coordinating shelter logistics, felt a knot tighten in her stomach. "How soon?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "Within hours, possibly sooner," Xaren replied, his holographic form flickering slightly with concern. "We need to prepare the population for immediate evacuation. This could be catastrophic. Maya, Jason interjected, we need to spread the word quickly. People are still in shock from the last disaster. We can't let them panic. With the clock ticking, Maya rallied her team. We need to use every channel available. Social media, community leaders, even door-to-door efforts. Let's get the word out. They dispersed into the streets, moving with urgency, while the Zirath began to deploy their drones once again to assist in the communication efforts. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the city, Maya felt the weight of the responsibility pressing down on her. They had built something beautiful with the Zirath, but now it was time to see if that bond could withstand the storm ahead. The Zirath sent out drones equipped with holographic projectors, broadcasting urgent messages across the city. Attention, citizens, we are facing a potential earthquake. Please prepare to evacuate to higher ground immediately. The messages echoed through the streets, drawing attention and concern. Yet, as the people processed the warnings, Maya could see the fear taking hold. Stay calm, she called out to the gathering crowd. We've faced challenges before, and we will get through this together. Please head to the designated shelters. Suddenly, the ground quaked violently, a deep rumble resonating beneath their feet. The tremor threw people off balance, and a collective gasp filled the air. Panic erupted as people began to run, but Maya stood firm, raising her hands to calm the chaos. Everyone, listen. Head toward the shelters calmly. This is what we prepared for. The Zirath, observing from above, were alarmed by the intensity of the earthquake. Zarin, it's worse than we anticipated. We must assist them. Lyra urged, her eyes wide with concern. No, Zarin replied, his voice firm but heavy with regret. This is a test of their resilience. They must rely on their instincts, and we must respect their autonomy. We can support them from above. Maya coordinated her team, guiding people toward the shelters. But the ground shook again, more violently this time. Debris fell from nearby buildings, and the chaos intensified. We need to create a path. Everyone, stay close to me, she shouted, her voice cutting through the noise. As they moved through the streets, Maya saw a group of children frozen in fear, clutching each other. Without a second thought, she rushed to them, kneeling to their level. Hey, it's going to be okay. I'm here to help you. Let's get to safety together. Just as she reached out, a powerful aftershock hit, sending a nearby lamppost crashing to the ground. The children screamed, and Maya instinctively shielded them, her heart racing. She felt the ground beneath her shift ominously, and the reality of the situation gripped her. Above, the Zirath monitored the chaos. This is beyond what we expected, Lyra said, her voice laced with urgency. We must intervene. They're in real danger. Zarin hesitated, torn between the principle of allowing humans to navigate their own challenges and the stark reality of the situation. No, Lyra, we can't. They need to learn that even in chaos, they can find strength. We can guide them, but we cannot take away their agency. With their thoughts racing and the tremors still threatening, Maya pushed forward, guiding the children and their families toward safety. The fate of the city now rested on their resilience, and as the ground quaked beneath them, she realized that every challenge was also an opportunity, a chance to rise, to unite, and to learn together. They were not just surviving, they were becoming something greater, and that journey had only just begun. As the tremors subsided, the chaos lingered, yet a new determination gripped Maya and her team. The people of the city had found their way to the shelters, a mix of fear and resolve etched on their faces. The air was thick with tension, but amid the uncertainty, there was also a palpable sense of unity. Maya stood at the entrance of the main shelter, watching as the last few families trickled in, grateful for the safety they had found. Keep the doors secure, she called to her team, ensuring everyone was accounted for. Let's assess our resources and make a plan for the next steps. The Zirath hovered nearby, their drones scanning for structural integrity and any potential hazards. They have done remarkably well. Xaren's voice resonated through the holographic interface. Their adaptability is impressive. They faced fear and acted with courage. Maya turned to her team, her voice steady. We've faced one disaster already, and now another. But look around us. Everyone is safe. This community is resilient. We need to focus on recovery and rebuilding. Let's assess the damage and prepare to assist those affected. As the team got to work, Lyra spoke with urgency. Maya, we should provide the tools and technologies we possess to aid in the recovery. We can assist with infrastructure and logistics. Maya nodded, recognizing the value in their resources. Yes, but we must also empower the community to rebuild. They need to learn to use these tools for themselves. We can't do it all for them. With the sun dipping below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the city, Maya gathered the leaders of the community. We've been through a lot, but I believe we can emerge stronger than before. Let's use this opportunity to rebuild, not just physically, but as a community. Together with our allies, we can learn, adapt, and grow. The Zirath observed from above, proud of the humans' determination. You have made a wise choice, Saren said, his voice resonating through the gathering. We will share our technology and knowledge, but we will also stand back and allow you to take the lead. You are the architects of your own future. Maya felt a surge of hope as the community leaders exchanged determined looks. We accept your help, Zirath, one elder spoke, his voice steady. But we also want to learn from you. This partnership should be mutual, a blending of our strengths. As night fell, they held a community meeting in the shelter. Lyra projected holographic maps and data to illustrate the damage and potential rebuilding plans. We can assist you in identifying safe zones and sustainable practices for reconstruction, she explained. The citizens gathered, attentively listening, their eyes shining with determination. Let's focus on creating a stronger infrastructure, Maya added, one that can withstand future disasters. We can combine our resilience with the Zirath's technology. Inspired by her words, volunteers stepped forward, eager to learn and contribute. Together, humans and Zirath worked side by side, transforming fear into purpose. They drew up blueprints for a new city, incorporating advanced Zirath engineering techniques with traditional human practices. As dawn broke, illuminating the battered city with new light, the first signs of recovery emerged. Streets once littered with debris were being cleared, and shelters turned into community centers for collaboration and learning. The Zirath provided technology, but it was the human spirit that fueled the rebuilding effort. Maya stood atop a makeshift platform, surveying the scene below. Families worked together, sharing stories and laughter amidst the labor. She felt a wave of pride wash over her. They were not just rebuilding structures. They were forging a new identity, one of resilience, unity, and hope. Xaren and Lyra joined her, their holographic forms shimmering with energy. You have created something extraordinary here, Xaren said, his voice warm. This alliance has the potential to change the course of history for both our species. Maya smiled, looking at the vibrant community below. This is just the beginning. Together, we will face whatever comes next. We've learned that every disaster is not just an ending. It's also an opportunity for growth. As the sun rose higher, casting its warm glow over the city, Maya felt a profound connection not just to her community, but also to the Zirath. They were no longer merely allies. They were partners in a shared journey toward a future defined by resilience, hope, and collaboration. In that moment, Maya understood the true power of unity, where every challenge could become a stepping stone toward a brighter tomorrow. The path ahead was uncertain, but together, they would navigate it, ready to embrace whatever adventures awaited them in the vastness of the universe.